You know, with the direction the series was headed at the time, maybe it should have been Left for Dead. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to my channel and the third installment of my Wrong Turn review series. Today, we're talking about the third film in the franchise, Wrong Turn 3, Left for Dead. I already have a review of the first two movies up, and I'll leave a link to the playlist in the description in case you missed either of them. But in the meantime, let me know in the comments what your thoughts on the Wrong Turn movies were if you've seen any of them. And make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you like these reviews, as it helps me out immensely by getting my channel out there and growing the community. And if you are new here, I hope you consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with reviews of new releases, older films, hidden gems, and so much more on a near daily basis. But let's not waste any more time and let's talk about Wrong Turn 3, Left for Dead. This focuses on a group of convicts and a corrections officer who, after their transfer bus crashes in a West Virginia forest, meet a rafter who is on the run from cannibalistic hillbillies who have murdered her friends. This is directed by Declan O'Brien, who went on to write and direct the fourth and fifth movies as well. And it's once again focused on an entirely new set of characters with a brand new cast, though similar to the last movie, the only returning character is the cannibal Three Finger, once again played by a different actor. And all the performers here are relatively unknown, though a fun fact I read is that even though this is meant to take place in West Virginia and focuses on American characters, it was actually filmed in Bulgaria with almost all British actors, and I thought that was interesting. Now, I gotta give this credit for a few things. It once again changes the setting from the last two movies, so it's not to be a total rehash of them, and it actually switches out a cast of mostly teens and young adults, and instead mostly goes for these older, hardened criminals to take on the cannibals, which is something you normally don't see in slasher movies. It's definitely not something the film totally capitalized on by any means, as a lot of these characters do kind of go to waste, but at the very least, it does switch up the dynamics a bit, with only a character named Alex, played by Janet Montgomery, being your usual young adult lead that you get in slasher films, and I appreciate the change in pace. And the film opens with Alex on a trip with three of her friends when Three Finger appears and violently murders everyone but her in what's unfortunately the film's strongest moment, and it's mainly due to the fact of how ridiculously over the top it is. Like, one of the characters gets vertically sliced into thirds here. Plus, it's also fun for how obviously bad some of the CGI graphics are during each of these kills. You just have to laugh at them. Like the same guy I mentioned who gets sliced into thirds, when he falls and the blood splattering, it looks so obviously fake, and I thought it was hilarious. And that sets the tone for the rest of this film, even if it doesn't quite hit the same heights as the opening sequence did. Like the last film, and even the first film to a degree, this is in full-on B-movie territory. Characters get killed in pretty violent manners, blood splattering, we'll get quite our fair share of action scenes, so for the most part, this doesn't hold back. And another interesting note, this actually holds the record for the highest kill count in all of the Wrong Turn movies. So, similar to the last two films, for those who like their horror movies bloody, you won't be disappointed on that end. And because of that, the movie can be pretty entertaining for what it is. Now, I wouldn't exactly call it good by any means, but I actually didn't hate this movie, because I was going in expecting to really dread the series moving forward, but this surprised me. I found it to be pretty watchable. But mainly in a so bad it's good sort of way. When we do get to an action scene, some of them would be so out there that I just found myself smiling most of the time. Which is also partially due to the fact that some of the CGI is absolutely terrible, like in the opening. The tension in these really serious moments where a character gets killed off is immediately cut by things such as digital blood, and it's hilarious. Though that's where most of the entertainment lies, so to be clear, if slasher movies with over-the-top kills aren't your thing to begin with, you won't really like this one, because like I said, it's really not a good movie. It's more mindlessly entertaining than anything. And the bad CGI aside, the reason it's not good is due to almost any other moment that doesn't involve the characters fighting against the cannibals. For starters, the acting isn't all that great. It certainly could have been worse, but the way a lot of the lines are read, a lot of it feels off. It's never convincing, and I'd say the closest we get to okay is one of the main criminals known as Carlos Chavez, played by Tamer Hassan. That performance was alright, but otherwise, while some of the actors' delivery is so off at times it can be kind of funny, the performances in general tend to get grating really quick, so I could see that being a good reason not to like this one. The other big thing is, at times, we can get caught up in some of the side arguments among some of these criminals, like there's this struggle for power between Chavez and some of the others on board the transfer bus, they're having side conversations about how they can double-cross each other, and it's more side stuff that has nothing to do with the cannibals. In fact, early on, after they're made aware of the cannibals cannibals' existence, there are times they speak to each other as if the cannibals aren't even there or even a threat. And sometimes we get caught up a little too much in all that. And it was unnecessary because they're really irrelevant to the rest of the story, and while I appreciate this attempt at character development, it doesn't matter because almost all these characters wind up being pretty unlikable people. We're not really given any reason to care for any of them. One of them repeatedly harasses Alex at one point in the middle of the movie, and their aggressive personalities, while fun when pitted against the cannibals, can get aggravating when they focus too much on each other. I felt some of it was just to convolute things more than they needed to and pad the runtime, and honestly, we could have done without them. And there are times where, to be honest, you're kind of waiting for them to get what's coming to them. Overall, for what it is, this is okay. It's really not a good movie, to be totally clear, especially for its focus on a group of mostly forgettable and unlikable characters and some of their drama that's irrelevant to dealing with the cannibals, but it's more of a so bad it's good film. The poor delivery of the dialogue is kind of funny, as is some of the really noticeable CGI, and its action scenes are pretty creative, and its kills are so ridiculous and over the top that they can be enjoyable if you're into these sort of movies. So if you're a slasher fan, while I wouldn't call this something you need to see, it might provide some mindless entertainment. Wrong Turn 3 Left for Dead gets a 6 out of 10. Next up is Wrong Turn 4 Bloody Beginnings, where we now get into prequel territory. We'll see how this goes. I'm not expecting much, but then again, I also wasn't expecting much from this movie, and I wound up not hating it. So we'll see, but stay tuned for that and much more coming soon. So let me know, did you see Wrong Turn 3 or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you wind up enjoying this? Do you have any guilty pleasure movies of your own? Let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching everyone, and keep having fun with film.